What is up, guys? Welcome back to another San Francisco video. Now, I get it, California has some of the dumbest laws. Like, you could rob $950, and that's a misdemeanor. Guys, if you go to a place like Singapore, and you rob $950 from a store, that's like, how much? 5 years in prison? It's crazy that San Francisco will just slap you on the wrist. And the chances of getting caught is super slim. It's basically like winning the Mega Millions. If you do get caught and you stole like $1 or $2 grand of stuff, chances are you probably won't get let out. There's even videos of people going to these designer stores to steal like a purse. They get caught by the security, and then they're like, you know what, just return a purse. We'll let you slide. California is crazy here, and this is why so many cities are deteriorating. If you look at San Francisco, so many stores are leaving. Business owners don't want to be here. There's no new businesses. Construction permits are down 80%. There is no construction company willing to make retail, office, or residential, or even hotels, because nobody's here. Everyone is leaving. People are leaving San Francisco, and they're still bickering about this stuff, which is kind of a no-brainer, right? Homeless encampment shouldn't be on the streets. It's really as simple as that. It's not rocket science, because if you go to other cities, if you go to like Doha, if you go to Dubai, if you go to like Singapore, Tokyo, Shanghai, you won't see tent encampments on the streets, because that's not something that you expect for a city. But for San Francisco, it's like a huge battle to determine whether or not homeless encampments should be on the sidewalk. It shouldn't be on the sidewalk. Business owners don't like it. A lot of people don't like it, the residentials. And also, I'm sure people in these homeless encampments, they don't really want to be straight up on the sidewalk. Maybe some do, but let's be real, they should follow what San Diego's doing. I mean, San Diego is not that great of a city, but recently they've been on my radar as a fantastic California city, by California standards, of course. So right now, appeals courts is coming out to rule whether San Francisco can clear homeless encampments. Not sure why this is even a big argument right now. Apparently in San Francisco, there's two massive sides. You got side A saying that homeless encampments should stay, and the other side, side B, they're like, we should not allow homeless encampments because our businesses don't make any money. People are leaving because there's just homeless people everywhere on the streets, and there's open air drug markets and tents everywhere. I mean, it's so bad that people in the city have to buy 2,000 pound planter boxes. Imagine you and your neighbors have to gather up 25 G's just to buy a bunch of giant, heavy metal boxes to put on the sidewalks to deter tents from your apartment building. It's absurd. It's something that if you tell foreigners, they'll absolutely be shocked. Here's the thing about San Francisco. I really hope they do make the right decision. I hope they recover, because the location of this tech city, I don't care what you say, is pretty phenomenal. It's a peninsula. It's near the Pacific coast. It's an absolutely beautiful city if you've ever been here, but it's no longer beautiful right now. It's pretty scary and it's pretty nasty. So what San Diego did was a massive W. They approved the ban on homeless camping. I mean, am I crazy? Is this a crazy thing to do? To not have homeless encampments on just the streets randomly? Okay, and so what San Diego did is they straight up cleared out all homeless encampments in the downtown area and also surrounding areas, to save the businesses, investors, and the tourism. And guess what San Diego did? They designated certain areas in the city for homeless encampments. They also are taxing businesses and also tourists. So San Diego is actually making a lot of money. They're not going negative. They're actually going more and more positive. They're making more money than ever before because of the incoming tourism. They're right next to Tijuana, Mexico. So in San Diego is using a lot of this money to help the homeless population, and also help people who are having mental illnesses and also on drugs. W San Diego, right? The business owners are happy. The residents are pretty happy. The tourists are happy. And of course, the people who need help, I guess, are pretty happy as well, because they're getting extra funding. And San Diego is really making a right choice here. So if this gets approved, right? If the San Francisco court says it's illegal to clear homeless encampments, that is a very difficult thing for business owners. Imagine being a business owner, right? And you're in this area of San Francisco. You have a retail store. There is no way that you're ever going to clear out a homeless encampment. So what happens to your front retail store? Well, you're going out of business. You're not going to make any more money. What if you're a landlord that has a apartment complex and there's just like, let's say 20 tents in front of it? Well, nobody's going to be willing to pay your rent. Nobody wants to rent in a place like that. And there you go. You just defaulted on a massive 10, 20, $30 million loan. If you check out what's going on here, it's crazy, right? I mean, this is why so many of these big box retail stores like Nordstrom, they're leaving. It's eerie. Westfield Mall, being San Francisco's biggest mall, is now closing down. Okay, they defaulted on $558 million worth of loans. And if you look at San Francisco, there's more scenes like this everywhere, right? It's a constant basis every single day. If you just go to like the front and you just look at San Francisco, this is what it looks like. It's like this on a constant basis. It's every single day, And look at this. Do you really want to open like a bakery, whatever it is, or a grocery shop in front of this? Probably not. I'm going to be real with you. A lot of these guys need help. And what's scary about this is San Francisco is actually running into a budget deficit, meaning in the next few years, they're going to be in the negatives. They're going to have to borrow money from the central government, and which pretty much means that San Francisco is barely even functioning. If San Francisco goes broke, I can't imagine what a lot of these people are going to be doing. They're not going to get any help. A lot of these guys need treatment. A lot of these guys need public housing. But if a city doesn't have money to build these, well, you're completely screwed at this point. And it's really sad, for everyone, right? The residentials, the residents, they don't like the city because there's just all sorts of craziness everywhere. And people who need help, they're not happy because the city isn't funding anything for them. And lastly, the business owners and landlords aren't happy because their property values and businesses go down. Nobody's happy, right? Nobody is happy. So I'm not really sure why this is even a thing. San Francisco is a fantastic city. I really do hope they recover. If you've ever been to San Francisco pre-pandemic, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's actually a pretty nice place. I actually prefer that in the past more than any other American city. But now I prefer Miami, right? I prefer Manhattan. Those are just much better places to be. San Francisco, it could be great. It could be a fantastic city if they do clear their streets, and they do have stricter laws, and they designate certain areas, let's say for like homeless shelters, homeless encampments, stuff like that. If they're reasonable, that they support businesses, every single one of these businesses will be begging to come back. Property values will go up. And the reason why 150,000 office workers who used to commute to San Francisco no longer commute to San Francisco is very simple. They don't want to be in San Francisco. It's just not that great of a place anymore, right? People don't want to spend, $1 or $2 million for property in San Francisco when they're unsure about the whole San Francisco situation. The city is really deteriorating. And this is why, if you look at the train ridership for the BART, it's getting lower and lower by the day. If you look at some of the transportation hubs, they're completely empty. Subway stations empty. Train stations empty. The Salesforce Tower, the Salesforce Transit is completely empty. It's apocalyptic. This is one of the scariest things I've ever seen, and especially, this is a multi-billion-dollar real estate area. And real estate prices are already 50 to 75% off, and if this continues, especially with what's happening with the interest rates going up, we could be seeing something really, really scary. And maybe several regional banks going down as well. Crazy stuff happening in San Francisco.